The reason. And there's some.
Them asked me today about this, and it's the school over here, she copied there.
I've been looking. And that, get this, yeah.
Okay, so they just, they were not covered. Well, they just went through like. I know.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay, well, she.
We got it.
Yeah, and you can put it in her.
Hopefully we can.
Let's fit.
Might be them. Cash out.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. And did you contact them?
No,
Okay.
it's fine. Tonight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Need to check.
Are you?
I'll spend that.
Hopefully, tonight. No, just.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah. Something. Where else?
That's, never.
I
You can have like a 200.
Conceptual.
Yeah, that.
That's one thing about conceptuals, it's not.
I know.
And I think we need to kind of keep that in mind.
Sometimes hard because you want to be helpful and
Yeah, agree with the 30
around.
is good, and then when it gets too long.
That's all I saw. Things want to be helpful and people.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. My focus is on whoever's.
Oh, just like I do, it's the owl.
I could be sleeping. Then I'll go off and. I don't know. Good point.
I was snoring over here, and the dog was sleeping there, and she was snoring. And they were asking, and we were snoring together, so it was like.
But in rhythm.
It was totally in tandem, so that's exactly all.
Oh, I finally got your
Oh, yeah,
price on your window, so.
yeah, is it breathtaking?
I really do.
Okay, okay. Good. And there's a couple other little things I kind of wanted to ask you about, so we're gonna discuss that all together. Very simple things. Is Mike still working for you? Okay, Mike. Mike, I guess. Okay, yeah. Okay.
This is.
Yeah, got it. I know
Look it over and
No, not a secret. I have looked at so many plan sets and what that's not. And it's just surface, I know what this is. I mean, most of them had to do with CDOT and so I can't. But they printed out the 30% of, the 30% design. Here, each step. Wow. But I do know what section it comes in, so I know what section I'm after. So it's easy, but I now really can manage that kind of things. But, yes.
Oh, but it's kind of material, we got it, it's a lot of work.
For the, yes,
The road there.
you know,
Yeah.
or see that, but. Yeah, I represent.
Oh, that's right, you're on, yeah, the stuff that they're doing down where's going there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never home.
But I do do a lot of those, so ever since I'm really grateful when I was asked. But essentially, was that I've been serving residents. I contract for 7 years.
Are we ready to start?
Yes.
Okay, let's go meeting to order, please take the roll.
Joan Eaton, here. Sean Black, here. Cindy Neely, here. Betsy Blackford, here. Mark Reynolds, Bob Hamilton,
Here.
Greg Ganzer.
Here.
And can we get approval of the agenda?
Well, there are a couple of things.
Yes.
Would you put on the conference reports, please?
Yes.
As one. The second one, Excel. And the third one, the program part. May none of them having to do with application.
What was the third thing?
Progress.
The process chart, sorry.
And then.
And then the concrete. Color,
Concrete discussion.
yeah.
Okay. Do we need to have the Strauss card?
This math and figure out how probably need to make something.
Bob, do we need to have the Strauss card going on here?
No,
Is that just for our reason?
we'll do that with the notes, because it just gets attached to the notes.
Okay, can I get it first? Can I get a? I'll make a motion to approve with the additions. Okay,
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye. Against. Right. On this business, that's on our agenda tonight. Okay, so Theodore the vote, thank you. Come on up. You can sit in the front row, you can pull a chair around if you want.
And the great camera.
Hello, everybody. My name is Theodore DeVoe. This is my wife, Katie DeVoe. We reside at 2091 Clear Creek Drive. And we are looking to get approvals on adding a fence to help enclose our yard area for our pets. So they have some space to be able to roam around the yard a little bit. So I've provided some photos of kind of the proposed layout of the fence. To kind of match similar to the other fencing that we have, except the proposed, we put in a little bit smaller of a fence, not at the same height as the other surrounding fence.
But this fence is a 4-foot fence, right?
Correct.
Is this, in the picture, is this part of the existing fence?
That's the existing fence. Yes, it is.
And is that what a picket truck?
Yeah, so it's so I guess it's kind of like a picket fence. That fence is I would say probably closer to the height of maybe a 6-foot height, and then that kind of the end there's a kind of a rock or a concrete pillar. So
How much of this fence is there?
That I don't know. Maybe 15 feet of fence,
Oh,
maybe approximately.
It's just sort of weird, but
okay. Yeah, yeah.
you have a small dog.
Two small dogs. They're two small little French bulldogs. One's white and his name's Hank. And the other one's name is Oscar. He's our little black one. Well, I should have, actually, next time I will. Oscar's really cute. We got him first. He had when he was a puppy, he had a little piece of his ear taken out. So usually Frenchies, their ears stick up straight. So he has one floppy ear and one ear that sticks straight up. So we've lived up here for about, I guess, a year and a half. We've lived in the house, we moved here October 21, sorry. And we've lived in Arvada, and we moved up here. So they've really enjoyed being up here in the mountains. So they've had a good time. So, but yes, we have too. Yes, yes. And the lake is starting to melt a little bit, which we're really excited about to be able to see some water. And so, yeah, so we're excited for the summer too. Yeah, it's been really amazing up here. It's been really neat. Yeah, it is. I know. Keep it a secret, right?
Page 81, book 30. Fences. And walls and gates. Does this have a gate?
I want to put it, yeah, so I didn't really illustrate that, but yeah, so essentially, the area here, kind of at the sidewalk entrance, our front door sits on the back side of the house. So this would essentially be a entrance gate, and then the idea here would also be able to put some openings, so if we did want to pull cars in there or things like that, we'd have access to that.
But it will look like the fence.
But it'll look like the fence. Yep, you'll just see, so you just see the actual hardware for the gate, but yeah, it would look exactly like the fence. Yes, that's correct.
All right, page 81, section 2, A. On book 3. Chapter 11. A fence should be simple in character. A1 should be transparent, allowing views into the site. A2, it did not exceed 4 feet in height. And A4, that the gate material and design is appropriate to the fence. So you're not all of a sudden doing a great metal opening.
Yes, yeah.
B. Material should be wood, which it is.
Will this be stained or painted?
I guess I really haven't, initially, I think the wood comes in kind of more of a natural tone, so my idea would be to try to stain it to match kind of the other fence to kind of, the other fence is kind of a little bit of a darker tone. So the idea would be to try to mimic that, to make it match a little bit more closely.
So do we have any issues with combining pointed picket fences with flat tops? Don't care about that. No. Okay.
Especially if they're defining out different areas. Which this is, it's not a continuation of the other one to the other one.
Good. What you doing?
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we approve the application for the 2091 Clear Creek Drive to add a fence.
Or second? I'll second. All in favor? Aye. Yes. Okay. Yeah,
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Great to see you all again. And next time I come, I will bring my puppies.
Okay, Christian Gibson? No, okay, Jessica Frieden.
Hi.
So just state your name and the address of the property.
Mitchell Tribbett, 615 Second Street.
Okay, and just tell us a little bit about your project.
We're doing the exact same thing. Yeah, we've got 2 dogs and a child that we want to close in the yard.
French bulldogs?
No, we've got a husky and a Samoyed.
Slightly bigger. Yeah.
And then also, in addition to the fence, a railing matching the existing banister.
Okay, the minutes should note that this is a contributing structure to the landmark district, and it is Lorenzo House. And what we didn't have was a picture of the house. So I made a picture of the house, so everybody is aware of what house they're talking about. And this is the house, well, there's the other house. This is the house that I didn't bring there. The house looks exactly like it did in 1886 after it got remodeled and extra. I can't remember anything.
And I did not bring a picture either. I regret that, but we do have that picture of the house in the 1880s that had a fence around it.
No, I had it out of Vivian's book because he lived there. Yeah, but that is the house, and
Okay.
essentially the house looks. The only, here it is.
Same, isn't it?
Here's the one from 18. This is amazing because if you look at these two, this house has stayed.
Yeah.
This house, this picture is from 1893. I did have a fence, that particular fence was a wire fence, but yeah, if you want to take a look at both those, those. What they are, the other one.
Yeah, so pretty.
That was really good.
So the fence is going on top of or behind the stone wall?
Yeah, set back from the wall.
It's set back from the wall.
Mhm.
How far set back from the wall?
It
I mean, not far. or-
ranges, it's about 2 to 3 feet.
Okay, so it's not far back from the
Right.
wall.
So right, there's the decorative mulch border, so we were gonna leave
The decorative mulch board.
on the outside of the
That's
fence.
us, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Because while you took a lot of pictures, it's hard if you are not on the site.
So is this like a creepy metal fence?
No, well, so that's the original fence, yeah, we plan on doing
It's a
white
one
picket.
wire, basically.
Yeah, and it looks pretty low too. It looks like it's probably just like 2 knee height.
Okay, and you're doing wood?
Yeah, just a white picket fence to match all of the other houses next to us.
And will that have the points on top?
Yep.
Yes. Yes, it's the.
Is there, I was hoping to do scallop, but if it's not realistic for our own DIY, is flat. I mean, is there a preference between scallop or even?
Well, I think it's, that's,
Oh, sorry, I mean like the shape of the,
well, the pickets are actually.
Or the shape of the fence. Oh, yes, there is a preference that it be straight
okay,
rather than this.
Especially on a historic.
Yeah, because that's not, that.
Wait, are we talking about the top of the pickets or the
No,
shape of the
you know,
pickets?
keep looking at
It's on.
this look like, like this, and should it be straight? Yes, it should be straight for our historic nature, that it really should, and these are flat pickets. I mean, it's a flat piece of wood.
Right.
right, not
Yeah,
the.
because if you notice, 2 rows down from the original pickets were squares.
Yeah.
And there are very few of those left, and we don't insist on anybody doing the square pickets, but.
If we had a preference, we do.
The thing that I am concerned about somewhat is the solar lights on the poles of the fence. We have a dark sky ordinance, we hope not to light up the night.
I think they shine down, don't they? Or not?
I think they shine out the sides.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's still not gonna be bright.
they're also going to be on.
Well, it wouldn't be a all night long thing. It would like go off and go to bed with the porch light.
We have requirements though for not being able to have any light dispersed upward. I mean, we have pictures we can show them.
Yeah, it's
Are those solar lights for safety is along the walkway?
they're the height of they're the height at the
At the
top.
top of.
That's,
Yeah, but I mean, is it along the walkway?
no, they can't cross the yard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need the light.
We can gladly remove
Because
that.
that's
Good.
definitely a different characteristic than.
Yeah, I mean, it's not anything that would fit with the historic character of the house at all.
No, and it concerns me if we start that,
Yeah.
we're gonna see lights on fences.
If it was a safety issue, and I think they do make some that are like little walkway lights that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're both right.
Awesome.
And I think honestly, between our porch light and our street light, that it's not a safety concern. So yeah, that totally off the
Solar
board.
lights, flat ground you can do.
Yeah, I mean, if you do need walkway
You
lights,
want
it's the,
Yeah, if you want, walkway lights would be helpful.
but this, I think, and the gates go with the, I mean, the gates are made the same as the.
Yes. They'd be the exact same.
You may find that a silly question, but you would be amazed.
If you don't ask, right?
What can come along as gates. Okay, so we have the fence and, we have the balusters on the porch.
Okay, so you're adding a railing on the porch.
Yes, we would like to.
Yeah.
And this is largely, toddler safety, because that drop
Yeah,
off from the porch is a good like foot and a half.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're into saving toddlers.
They-
You like that?
Really. And what height is the baluster?
I did forget to put that, so the,
I thought I saw it, like 2 foot.
28, that's right. Yeah, 28.
yeah, it was, so the new railing would be slightly lower than the current posts that the stairs are mounted to, so the railing itself would be about 2.5 feet, which in this picture on page, I think 7, it's porch railing photo 1, you can kind of see the post that the railing for the stairs are attached to, so those would be a little bit higher than, yes, those posts.
Which,
Yeah. So are you going to make that, this is something with that height?
Is there a code height
Um,
on that? Right?
How far is the drop?
how far does the drop go off?
so you- but
Foot and a half.
Well, it's the drop.
Yeah.
I'd say that the job itself is 1.5 to
So
2.
you're just doing it yourself, it could be whatever you want. Technically, it's more than 3 feet, should be 42 inches, but
Oh, yes, smaller.
Oh, yeah, it's smaller than 3 feet.
then whatever you want.
So no, I wouldn't, ideally, the
So
railing would be a
maybe-
little lower than the top of the post, largely because if we kept the railing the height of the post, it would really block off a lot of the,
I think we would just try to match the height and style of the railing that already exists on the upper
Yeah,
balcony.
it's not a code, it's not a code issue, which is it, because the deck is not.
What you want to make sure is that you don't have a gap larger than 4 inches, because that's when a head can get stuck in it.
yes,
But-
we're very much so looking after that, yeah.
So yeah, keep the gap 4 inches below.
That makes sense, yeah,
On the rules.
yeah.
Or you have to keep a helmet on at all times.
These are
You're not
nice.
including-
I didn't include it.
Yeah,
the railing
and
on the
so it goes right across the, to the.
Yeah.
Side. Good idea. Fall off the board.
Yeah.
They also have 2 dogs,
Who are in the car,
big dogs.
Medium-sized dogs.
Medium sized dogs, too, not huge dogs.
the fluff makes them look bigger, always, so.
Great dogs.
But,
All right, we have.
oh, I was just gonna say, we don't want the toddler to fall off.
No, you know, I want to talk.
That's good. Okay.
Right, what do we got?
Book 2.
Page 51. This is chapter 3.
Yeah.
That's the walls and gates.
Well, there aren't any original fences to preserve.
That's pretty-
Red A2,
Yeah.
typical historic fence types include wood picket, and that's what we're talking
And
about.
then on the next page, is page 53. 52. And, B1. Should define the front yard. Before. Should be painted, wood fence should be painted. And 7, gate material design should be appropriate to the fence. I think that's all we need on the fence.
Okay, do I hear a motion?
Well, we get, we're
Oh,
we get the.
Oh, James, fine.
In chapter 7, section 7, page 50, 71. And that doesn't. Sorry, separate situations. Each handrails, ramps, walkways, steps, decks, and patios should be designed to be compatible with the primary structure. And each one appropriate materials are painted wood and non-reflective painted or factory finished metal.
And that's page 72.
That's 72.
But would they have the option of manufactured? Sometimes we approve fences that are made out of more durable,
Not across the
Historic
road.
houses, we do.
not on the what?
Historic houses, we do.
Should we note that the light was not going to be part of it since it was in the submittal?
Right. No solar lights,
And no scallop top platform.
no what?
Scallop top. There's a scallop
Oh,
top
scallop.
shown in there too.
And yeah, it's very nice.
We move to approve the application to add a front fence and a railing on the porch. With the stipulations as noted.
Here, a second,
Second.
all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
The stipulation for the light.
So we're not doing the solar lights and the fence will be straight across the settlement couch.
Makes things easier for me, so.
That's right.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
That sounds amazing. I mean, that house is right. That's.
Nice house.
Somebody did a lot of work inside. Remember when there was that lock in the kitchen?
Yes.
It's gone. They must have worked a lot to take that out. It's built right up against the mountain and in the kitchen, in some corner, there was a heat boulder. The house was just built around it.
Oh, how fun.
Part of the mountain, yeah.
I love that.
The bathroom, there
They got rid of
was.
it.
Was it, oh yeah, I forgot about that. They're laughing.
Where was that?
This house?
This house.
The Randall house?
Oh, okay.
Well, it's built right into the mountain, like there's no back, it's not up against it, and then one giant boulder is in the house.
But not
The
anymore.
thing that's.
No, I know this, no, they sold it last time.
Oh,
But I'm not sure when that got taken down.
Yeah.
Since I looked
Yeah,
at
all
it.
the pictures.
Yeah, I thought it was for it.
Are we on the next one yet?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just finishing up with it.
yeah.
I can't tell what they want to do, because they took pictures, nice pictures of all the windows from the inside, it doesn't tell me anything.
I know, and I went up there and I took a picture of the wrong house. Or else I would have come with a picture of their house. It's the house that has the mannequin out front all the time as you drive up Cornell Pass Road. The mannequin gets dressed.
Oh,
for
yeah, yeah,
different
yeah.
Seasons for different things. And yes,
The taste.
And they have the light lamp.
The leg lamp.
They also have a light lamp.
Oh, he's got. It's a major award.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the light lamp.
I think we could ask for something more.
well, I think that I stopped in and Jen was going to try to do that.
You can hit right or left and get more.
The glow of sex in the
Yeah,
window.
I mean, we can do that. What they're looking for is all the windows in the back of the house and they have repaired the other ones, and they know that we
Okay,
can't see.
those lamps from,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Christmas tree.
it's the major award. My husband wants one of those.
But yes, they
They
did
did
all the last year, I mentioned go back to what it is. They turned this in and they were told they were announcing. Oh.
The dogs would be sick.
Okay.
That's
fine. And
I couldn't tell what they wanted to do either. So, place windows, I think.
yeah, so we want to replace those windows and with new frames made from a wood fiber composite, which is something that we have approved before. Matter of fact, didn't we approve the windows on the front of the house?
I'm sure we did, if it's been done in the last time.
And it is something we would.
Yeah, we did, I remember talking.
Replacing one for one.
Yeah, I think that we should put them, the reason I'm doing this is that they were told their application was okay.
Oh,
So that puts in a little bit more of it, because I came back to Jen with these, but I only came back to her at 3:30 this afternoon, which is not enough time to. And then I go out and I photograph the wrong house here.
So we could put all the typical stipulations in there that has to actually exist inside. that lives in mind.
and if they, if anyone, any windows? If they were, well, we got pictures here, how many when they got five pictures.
We don't know a lot of things. Right,
Awesome.
I think they've taken a picture of each window,
Yeah.
and so. And you see they're all the back, they're the sides and the back windows, none of them are the front windows. So we have 9 windows. And none of them are the front windows.
I did each.
So I would stipulate that this approval is for these 9 windows only, and that they would be replaced in the same size with the same lights,
Then what?
The lights, yes, lights.
the 1/1, namely.
I have possibly 10 windows if I count.
Oh, that age. Somebody count again.
I did.
Well, if you can question, yeah, is this the window or no?
I think that's what they want.
I think you have 8 too.
Yeah, I did not count those because I thought those were the ones that, or maybe those are the ones that were.
This one looks like a slider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one is the slider. So you're saying that the ones that are like this, Don, are not what they.
I think that's what they're using.
I'm not sure, but it has a room name on the top, that's why I'm wondering, thinking it's a window.
Yeah.
So
Is the sign have a room?
We really don't know how many.
we don't have a requirement to have anybody here to represent.
No.
No, okay, yeah.
There's no. It has a thing with it.
So what you're saying is that window 3 may be replaced by window 5? And that we wouldn't want to have happen because it's different shape? Or window 6 might be replaced by,
They were all different shape. I mean, if you look at the 103, it's. You know, with more,
it's more square.
Yeah.
Less vertical.
101 definitely is.
Well, if we're taking out 2 windows to put that one in, I don't.
One of them
want
is
to do
the
it.
concern.
Yeah,
There's one.
Okay, we have to tell them, we couldn't tell which window was which
we
window.
got some questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I see 3 different,
I would
Style
move that
windows.
we table this and indicate to the applicant that we need further information and understand which windows are actually being replaced.
yeah, I think the exterior picture of the
You know where the
wall,
family room is?
Yeah, pictures from the outside and
specific,
then the ones replacing, well, I've already started writing that they have to be the same size and
That's
configuration
the family room.
as the originals.
Okay, yeah, but what are we saying to them, guys?
I think we should table this.
Yes, so do I, but what are we saying to them?
we need exterior pictures or diagrams that show specifically which windows.
And
They need to confirm that the windows are same size and same
style.
style as what's there now. And that and the exterior trim remains the same.
Okay.
And then what are the material for the windows?
It's fine.
Yeah, the exterior trim
Is way too high, what's there now? Yes.
Let's get a closet.
She's sitting with that. Okay, I think it's good, hopefully they're just putting frames in.
Yeah.
Did somebody move?
No,
I would move that we table the application from, the Dixon, Kristen Dixon. And, with a request for further information. As described. Did we get the description? Okay. Second?
all in favor?
Aye. Okay, what's next? We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, update on Excel Energy and the discussion about, the hydroelectric district, including the NSTOP and including the the powerhouse. Which has sort of been called the substation, but somebody corrected me and said actually the little white building is the substation and that could be called powerhouse. On April 21st, Excel Energy filed a initial consultation document for this proposed project. And if you'll bear with me, I will read a 2 sentences out of it. As a result of the safety concerns identified above and the uneconomical cost of repairing or replacing project facility components to continue operation, Fiesco is proposing to remove the Forebay Dam, decommission the penstock, restore South Clear Creek in the footprint of the Forebay Reservoir, modify the project boundary to remove facilities no longer needed for future operation. Period. Fiesco intends to explore possible divestment of ownership of the powerhouse. So they are now stating it. They also propose to establish a new hydropower generation capacity and the installation of a micro turbine at Clear Lake Dam. So they have finally said on paper and put out there what their intent is, and on the other side of it, the National Park Service has decided they want inland inspection, which is nice. They sent copies of this notice to 11 pages of people.
Yeah, it's incredible. You know.
Most of them Indian
Indian
tribes.
tribes, yeah.
Most of them Indian tribes, and while they chose to send it to the mayor of Idaho Springs, they did not choose to send one to the mayor of Georgetown. They did send one to Greg. They sent one to Greg Jarvis, and they sent one to me. I bring it up here, and I think that we should, keep our eye on what's going on with this, and hope that, assist the town in whatever way we can in finding a way to support keeping our energy museum as an energy museum.
I still think we should file them with demolition by neglect. And specify that if they plan to abandon it, that they have to give us the first right to buy it or to have it, or they should give it to us. But I don't think they do that. But, that should fall under demolition by neglect. It's the property they own here, everybody else has to maintain their property, or, you can't just say, oh, I want to do this.
I would really be really interested in what it would cost to refurbish the dam and
Yeah,
the penstock.
Cause I just say it's unreasonable, they don't say what the number is.
Yeah.
They spend way more than that on.
And they're going,
They
and they're,
made this unreasonable, they said uneconomical.
I know,
yeah.
Which means that it doesn't produce enough money to make them feel that it's worth the.
but they're gonna go ahead and put a small microturbine up further.
Right.
So that's really, to me, that's the driving. I understand that, this is obsolete equipment and so forth, and, it would cost them whatever to maintain it.
Still seems cheaper than building these stuff.
You would think. The
Well,
other
plus,
question is, what does it?
It has a historical value,
Yes, that too.
which is not factored in at all,
Yeah,
Sure.
that's priceless.
and that's right.
Good point.
So I think that's something we should push off, push back on.
And that's not a big
We'd
deal.
like to really know
What it would cost. to
what it
stay.
would cost.
Because the dam is tiny, it's not like it's a huge
It's
dam.
not, yeah, it's not-
They
it's not-
have to have an
it's not
idea,
concrete.
they're saying they can't do it, they have to have an idea what's gonna cost. You can't say we can't afford that if you don't know what it costs, right?
Well, you-
Right, and they are very careful because they are very, this paragraph is very interesting because it is all full of things that didn't need to happen. In recent years, the low-level outlet for the Forebay Dam has been considered inoperable and unreliable. And the penstock has functioned as the low-level outlet, raising dam safety concerns.
Neglect.
Somebody who really wants to, additionally, maintenance of aging equipment has become a hindrance. Yeah, this is full of a lot of duck words. That's why I thought this paragraph of particular just sort of.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the question? And we'll see if we can get an answer.
I would like to know what would be involved in restoring,
Mhm. And making it operational.
making it operational again.
Or keeping it operational, because it still was until they just decided to shut it down.
Yeah,
Demolition.
Mhm.
and I mean, that would give us a benchmark.
Yeah.
Going past that, would there be support? Or could the town garner support for taking the whole thing over from the dam to the power?
I would hope so.
So we're talking
Well, I
about
mean,
the
I
restored
mean, we
dam.
could generate power, and put it back into the grid with it, but then we'd be responsible for you know, operating and maintaining and all that, so there's a big cost there.
Yeah.
But is that something that could happen?
You know who can analyze that, you know that group of folks
Yeah,
that we found online?
Yeah, the people that are out west someplace.
Well, west someplace, but they're not out west someplace, they're in the state, and they live on the road in Lakewood.
Yeah, It's what they do.
It's what they do, is they get old power stations, so is it time for us to talk to, where are they, Hydro West? Something like
I've got it in my computer.
I think it's well worth checking out.
that.
And here's the thing, if we actually take it over and restore it and it's producing power, do we have to put it back in the grid then?
Well, I mean, you get the money for it that way, I mean, that,
But they don't pay
you
you.
would kind of,
what
yeah,
we
I mean,
pay.
I don't know, you have to figure out some kind of a
Yeah,
power transfer agreement or something like that, but I mean, it could be an asset to the town. When I said about, you know, funding for it,
yeah,
it's in the National Historic Landmark District.
yeah.
It's, you know, there may be federal money
Yeah,
that could support this.
Support, potentially support the restoration of it.
Yeah,
Nobody ever supports the operation of anything,
right.
which is, okay, but what the cost, what's their estimated cost? I'd love to compare it to what it's gonna take to dredge that forebay, to restore that creek, to do all of those things, because they're gonna put a lot of money
Yeah.
into getting out of this.
I'm doing it, yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
and then once we have those numbers, then we get an independent assessment of it.
Right. Yeah, the
Cost
cost.
to get out of it versus fixing it. Is kind of what I'm.
Yes, yeah, okay. Estimated cost, on both sides, estimated cost for what they're proposing.
We gotta go visit the place over in, is it Uray or Telluride or someplace?
It's right up above Telluride, it's, it's an
It's
interesting
the oldest
one in there.
in the state, in the country. I think we're the second oldest.
Yes, we are.
There's just an operating.
Is Telluride
It
like
is up there.
5 hours away or something?
Isn't how fast you drive.
Longer than that.
It's longer.
Yeah. You gotta go and then.
You gotta go.
Estimated cost of what Excel is proposing.
Did Excel just say the dam's unsafe, or did somebody actually check it to see if the dam's unsafe?
Well, Excel, the other thing is
Is-
the.
Did somebody really assess it to see that? it's-
They say that Excel say they really assessed it and they filed for something. And if you didn't, I sent this to everybody,
Yeah, I
didn't I?
went through it.
There is something they filed with the regulatory commission to show that it was, and that you can access on the FERC, website, you can go in, and as long as you know your project numbers and all of those kinds of things. Cause somewhere they said. Where they did, let me see if I can find that, so I can.
Yeah, if you were to do something like that, you could, it wasn't a link, it was just a reference to
Okay,
Yeah,
some kind of a federal report or something.
right, and so let's look back a minute.
I'm just curious who said it was unsafe.
But I can also,
We'd like to see the assessment.
yes, yeah, see assessment, and I can actually write to the gal at, assessment of the dam and Penstock. And could someone tell us exactly what went wrong with the powerhouse? Actually, the guys in the powerhouse can tell you exactly what went wrong with the powerhouse. Nick probably can. And of course, they're saying, the other thing is that this whole list didn't include anybody on the museum board.
Yeah, they noticed that.
And I sent it to Lynn Wall. Because when I was walking over here, I was a little late, because Gibbs stopped me and said, do you have that new Excel letter? And I said, yes, I have it with me. And because that's just rude. But But that board says they feel that it must cost, that it costs millions to put the pen stuff back together. That's why I think the Hydro West guys would, what they would say about it would interest me more.
Yeah.
Because they're used to looking at old hydro plants and say, this is what it would take. I found a wonderful picture of the early dam. It's fabulous, and underneath all that concrete, that wood dam is still there. They just concreted over it, which is interesting. So I don't know, but I think that they are at least being more forthright and
I
saying
didn't
out loud.
realize they got their hands slapped.
Yeah, right, yeah, they did, and, but I think you're right to go after the cost, we'll see what we can do, figuring that out, and I think we should.
I mean, it sounds like they would be, they're happy to get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah,
They clearly don't want it.
Yeah, so,
Well, if we took it as is, and they didn't have to repair anything, I think that we should kind of get first dibs on it and as to keep their name from being further in the mud. So if we get it fixed back up and running, we'll sell more electricity, but our rates will keep going up.
That's
Right.
okay, yeah, well, I think I know some people to ask, and if I can find if she will send me the engineer's report on the dam, I'm staring at you, Brent. I'm not gonna be able to read that.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll read it.
and I'm, you know,
I'll have it.
staring at both of you.
it's, yeah, I mean, I could mean a whole lot, but
Right. Yes, but you would know what it,
you know,
yeah, you would,
you need a dirt engineer.
Jerk.
a dirt engineer, yes, yeah. basically.
They are.
Mine is.
Everybody that knows.
I know one back in Georgia, probably hired like me got
And
out.
you don't know why?
I
Yeah,
can find somebody that knows.
yes, you guys can find somebody knows, but even though I've never, I didn't pursue the paper because I thought, you know, I'm not gonna know what it says, I mean,
I'll know what it says and I have contacts that would know what it says.
yeah, so that, you know, so I can write her, that's probably the easiest part, and she will tell me once again, I get into that fabulously difficult.
If it was in that original letter, I just missed over or skimmed over that part.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure that.
I may be missing the obvious here, but we do want to have a museum.
Yes,
Yes,
Yes.
oh yeah,
Okay.
And
yes,
a working country.
we love it.
And
It's
working.
Makes it really, instead of just a big one.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's all integrated.
Yes.
Yes, okay. All right, got the books stacked up here.
yeah, no, and I think that this one can make noise if we can get it organized.
Yeah.
We'll call.
I'm not sure I'm up to organizing that. But you have the FERC you have the number, and if you go on FERC's FERC's site. But that's what I will ask Jennifer over email, could she send could she's send the documents. The security prep. An enclosure. Table. I don't have an enclosure table. Yes, you do. Yeah.
If it's Hydro West.
It is Hydro West.
Yeah.
Well, but what's curious is Excel leading man out here is their operation manager, it's Martinez. And you see the folks who run the museum board, they think this is all Martinez's thing. He's the manager at Hydro West. But that's what, that's their terminology also.
Hydro West is a separate.
Yes, but that's funny that's his title. Is also actually, but yes, there's thing I think Patrick Martinez has.
So are we suggesting that they give all of it to us?
We're not suggesting anything until we know where some of the numbers are.
Okay, but I don't think we should ever suggest that we purchase anything.
Oh, we're not
Oh,
starting
yeah.
out with.
Oh, yeah.
Suggesting with purchasing anything.
No.
They already wanna unload her.
Right. Okay.
But it would save them, as a matter of fact, quite the opposite.
What I'm
It
saying.
would save them a lot of money to not do what they're saying they're going to do.
Yep.
So if they want to give it to us with some, like 90% of that money, that we're saving them,
Mhm.
we might be
Yeah.
able to do something.
Right.
But yeah, all right, thank you.
All right.
I just don't want them to get on scot free
No,
by us doing this. Okay.
Okay,
okay, the second thing is that Jen nagged at me about the fact that she hasn't heard from you guys
about,
about, the conference.
oh, okay.
So doing the reports,
Yes, you know, you have to identify which things you went to and then some of the things that you remember that you heard.
okay,
If you don't have one of these, if anybody needs this thing to remember what they went to,
She's done this PDF.
I have it.
did she?
Yeah.
All right, you're all okay?
Yeah, I tried for 2 days to get on
Oh, really?
and could never get logged in.
Look at this.
Never got an answer back from them, so I didn't.
No, but if she can just get two more, she can get Betsy's and friends and others to get a shot, because they gave us money to go. And so they want to,
They just wanna.
Are we supposed to like tell them how much the hotel room was?
No.
No, it's, we do big enough.
This is just.
Yeah.
The town to get rid of it.
Oh, the town.
the town will get reimbursed for the, for the registration that they'll pay. But I remember.
So you just basically tell them who you are, what you, which ones you.
Yeah.
Exactly, the last time.
It doesn't have to be a big overview, just so.
Yeah.
No, which 3 sessions and what was a couple of your takeaways.
Okay,
My takeaway was that the US Army wasn't to be trusted.
that's. Speaking of the US Army. I'm gonna be gone all next week in New York at West Point. Meeting with the commanders at West Point, and then the following Monday in Philadelphia, meeting with the president of the Museum of the American Revolution. So
That's gonna be nice.
it's gonna be great, but
Here we go.
I'm gonna be gone for 5 days.
Okay.
So good.
Oh, on your calendars, though, the public meeting that Excel's gonna have
Oh,
on this project is May 24th.
Oh,
And they're gonna have a daytime meeting and an evening meeting, and I think it's really important for a few people just to show up.
is
And
that
that's
here?
May 24th, and I don't know, it's described somewhere in the letter, but she doesn't say where it's going to be.
I noticed that
There's one morning and one evening meeting session will be held with one site visit scheduled to occur between the 2 sessions. If I will be back east in
what are
May
we calling this?
Excel, we're just calling it Excel at the moment.
Excel meeting, okay.
Somebody can
I can
walk
I
through.
should be back by then.
I'll be here.
What day
I'll
would
be
you
back
guys
on
have?
the 20th.
I don't know what day the 24th is.
24th is Wednesday, 24th.
Wednesday.
Okay. Mhm.
But if there is any way to have people in those sections and taking notes and going on that site visit, it really would be good. And my eldest granddaughter is, you know, celebrating the end of her high school career and graduating and all of those kinds of things. So we have,
All right.
priorities.
Their priorities.
Yeah,
That's
that
good.
one's got to be a priority.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay, next we have the,
Going to NYU School of Engineering.
Whoa.
Yeah, next fall.
Holy mackerel.
Really good.
Not really.
Do we want to do the concrete discussion quickly? Before we get to the other concrete discussion?
Yeah. I can put that together, because I'm gonna put it in the specs for Strauss Park. And I took the 2 pictures that you said, that you gave me last week. Those little pictures, that's the actual color. Off of the Davis Concrete website. And I've asked Jeff, the builder, if they had an actual spec for the concrete that they use. He said they do, I just don't have it yet, so I'll go look at that, let me get that.
Yeah. Oh, you mean for Marvin's?
Washington, yeah.
Wow, yeah, they did, their aggregates to the,
Yeah, that's why I bumped the size of the aggregate up to 1/8 to 3/8. I
Yeah.
think that should be about right.
yes, so do I, but because, other than that, the color is really good. This color is
Yeah,
really good,
yeah.
and it's got a light aggregate, so it looks better than, you know, great concrete.
Like it's maybe, we're okay.
Just the guy that, I get the school wherever it is.
Does not know how to do
Generally.
any math whatsoever.
He doesn't understand.
Well, he didn't know how much, basically, it's 1 or 2 pounds per bag, which is roughly 100 pounds. And that's, you know, so either 1% or 2% of the concrete, of the cement that goes into the, not sand or gravel or anything else, it's just that.
Yeah, I get what it is, but he had the formula right in front of him. And we were guessing at 95 pounds, but.
Well, that's what a bag is, I think it's like 92 to 96 pounds.
Pounds, and so they had
It's a
95,
cubic.
and all he needs to do is figure out anyways.
Cubic foot, yeah, it must be, it must be, it's a cubic foot per bag.
Is he mixing it himself there?
No, he's just ready mix, but they'll mix it,
That's what I'm like.
They have a
sitting
machine.
with plan and I took.
yeah, the plant has a machine that does that.
Yeah.
And I printed out for Cindy the stuff from Davis, and they talk about all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's a
I'll give
plan.
that stuff
With Jen,
to check them
so
out.
she can give it to him, but really, it's all you need to know is your amount of concrete, now all you need to do is multiply.
And then I figure if this works, then we'll just hand this out to people
Anybody?
as a town standard and.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, oh, I would be interested in what David's. So,
Yeah, that's why people,
Yeah.
I figured you didn't have much to do, so.
no.
Okay.
Okay, and the last one is on Wednesday night, you're supposed to be driving with the planning commission over this thing.
It's a whole lot better than it was.
It's better than it was, it really needs out,
Emerson.
so whoever can be there Wednesday night.
Yeah, what, I'm gone to.
Is that the third? I've got that on my calendar.
Yes, you got to, it doesn't need all of us, it really
Okay.
doesn't.
Okay.
That's fine.
But if you can, it's at 6 o'clock, it's with the planning commission. I think they have 2 brand new folks, I don't know if that's the case, do you know, Susan?
I think they have a few, at least. But that's just the river.
I know that.
What are you holding right there?
Oh, I'm holding up the process chart, the review process chart. And we're supposed to discuss it with the planning commission. There is a couple of things, we do conceptuals. And the other thing is, M's are meetings and H's are hearings. And I'm gonna ask a little bit about what's that, how do we, what does that mean? Because we don't actually hold hearings,
Well, when
not in a public hearing sense. A public hearing is a thing that you would have to wrap a gavel and say we're open to
Right.
comments from the public, and then you have to close it. And,
we have done that just a few times.
Yeah.
Because,
but we don't do it for every certificate.
oh, no.
And that's what they're sort of saying. They also have said that the amendments during construction go just to the staff. And no, they don't just go to the staff. they said that we, on the final part of the special use permit, we hold a hearing. No, that's not what we do. We do some advice to the planning commission before they issue a special use.
Yeah.
And I know they refer to all of these code sections, and I'm unwilling to take the time to go after what else I know is there. But, and they said that for major subdivisions and minor subdivisions, we have no role whatsoever. And for a variance, we have a meeting role. I guess that means that we have, we advise the,
We run an advisory.
because what they've said is the table includes the change to show planning commission review proceeds design revision. So they've lined it up. The staff goes first, planning commission comes second, DRC comes third. Well, sometimes our advisory thing comes before planning commission decision, and board of adjustments would come last, and yes, it's better than it was before.
Maybe instead of just having that meeting or hearing or whatever designated in the slot there, they should put in each column like 1, 2, 3, that's supposed to come to us first and staff first, us second, and then the planning commission. If it was numbered that way, then you know the order of it, because they don't have order on any of them.
Yeah, they don't, on special use permits, they don't have the order. And I think for subdivision planning, we've always given recommendations. We don't get to decision making, but so there's that. And then
Your code
there's
recommendation?
this. And the other thing is that the Rs are all that staff could review, and one of our stumbling blocks is what's in that review. Because Rick's really good at doing the zoning review. But if water and sewer hasn't also reviewed, I mean, we ran into that whole, really stand up at Alex. You know, it turns out you can't get water and sewer to his property. Which one is that? That's the one with the.
One's up to
the
The big pile of dirt.
Yeah, by the.
Well, I think she kind of already did. That predicted.
Yeah, but you see, we
Yeah.
should not have been in.
Right.
So we have to, I think, define a little bit more what the staff review is. We also run into, we need a better staff review in general on our application.
And that's supposed to come with a new assistant to the.
Right, but I would like to see us define what staff review is. A little bit, and a little better defined meeting, you know, one's a meeting, one's a hearing.
There should be a recommendation, because we do a lot of things that are recommendations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
There
more
should
and
be a
more.
recommendation. So whoever can be there at 6 o'clock on Wednesday, Sean, maybe, Bob?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, and this is Jerry Hall's gonna be there, and so that means he's.
That's good. Jerry knows how things
Yeah,
work.
yes, he does, but he will also be reading along with us the whole time.
But good.
I know.
Yeah.
No, he's been very. helpful.
Yeah.
But the other thing is the business about certificate of appropriateness exceptions, and only the staff. I don't know what that means. Says that only the staff has to do with COA exceptions.
What is a COA exception?
I don't know. I will look up that one. And
Actually, you know, that might be like a pre-approved list,
yes, but staff doesn't invent our creation.
but we have a pre-approved
Yes.
list, so maybe they just have to ask if it's on.
Yeah, we just need to know what it is.
Did you ever find out what the food card is?
No.
Okay. Number 16.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so no, we don't have a lot, we don't have, there are a lot of things in here we don't have, you know. But at Land Unit Development, they said we hold the meeting on. I think the H is when you make decisions. And the M's are input. But we don't know that.
I still say the public is not gonna be use it.
No.
I just,
No, you know what we do, we can't figure out what
I'm
that is.
sure, yeah, exactly.
So I don't think it's gonna be too much help.
Applications, they ask you how we have to go.
wow. That would be supposedly to help the applicant.
I know, it's indecipherable.
And that you go to staff first, and then you go there, and then you go there, and then you go there, and it just. Some of these, yeah.
That's why we made it a brochure.
Yeah, because you can't help it, but she.
Right. Right. Okay.
We have to go to YouTube and watch the video of how to read.
How to read a chart. Right, right. Okay, shall we, I give approval of the minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It was torturous trying to do that.
We have April 13th here, okay.
Yes, to start with, under Strasburg, I think Bob and I decided that the motion is to approve the phase 3 document. Does that sound okay?
Who's the scope?
The phase 3 scope?
Is that what we? I presented the
Anybody remember?
prior version of this thing last time we went over all
Yeah,
things would change, and that's what. And all I did is I recorded all that into this and added it as the scope development record. So it captures input from all the different commissions. And that's what I've used to go ahead and put the spec together.
okay,
So my intent was just attach a copy of the final version of this to the minutes. And then it's in the minutes. And
okay,
I'm gonna do the same thing with the planning commission and or not the planning, with the other two commissions.
okay.
Okay, but we didn't agree to putting a concrete in the shelters, did we?
Yeah,
Yeah, in the consent.
in the concession stand. In the food court. Where the in booth is gonna be a concession stand, it could be
Okay,
interchanging.
because what this says. Okay,
Where it's hidden, it would be.
Like,
Yes,
right, plastic,
Then,
under the
Oh, okay.
shelters,
okay, so I put under the
No, I think it was the concession.
concession area.
well, into the south shelter.
No,
That would, and that's not where it is.
Yeah,
We don't get,
so it's the south,
all right, because it says under the shelters and,
Right.
but that's not what we said.
Under the south.
Under the south shelter.
okay,
And then the motion was to approve the amended scope, was it not?
yeah,
okay,
as documented in the,
Yeah,
in the handout.
all right, so to motion to approve the amended scope as documented in the plan.
actually as documented in this thing, and then we'll just.
What do we call this thing?
The scope development record.
Is it dated?
It says next phase 2023.
It'll be
Would that
attached.
be phase 3?
It'll be like put a date on it.
Should be phase 3.
Yeah, is it phase 3?
I think that's what Bob said it was.
Okay.
I think it'll be clear from the date.
Yeah, the dates are all filled out in here.
It's on April, yeah, 13th.
All right, anybody remember who motioned the minutes?
I think I
Was first. Okay.
And I second it.
Cool.
Wow.
Sounds good.
Mr. Tracy, it's just
Remember what time you left?
I just guess.
What?
So
time you left?
I think that was about it.
7:58 sounds good.
All right, it would not be a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and everything else we got pretty well.
Good.
Okay, so can I have a motion then?
Make a motion to approve the minutes. And
You have to leave your eye on it.
Do I hear a second?
I do help her for you. Occasionally.
Yes, second.
Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Mr. Green, fucking hell.
that's right, but talking donuts.
I'm happy to do that.
All right, we done with everything?
Oh, we did forget something, sorry. We
Oh,
asked,
no.
yeah, we asked, you returned, didn't you?
No,
We did ask, Rick to cite, 912 Rose Street.
yes,
Okay, he asked, the members about the process of dealing with structures that are in danger of collapsing due to neglect. And we asked him to cite 912 Rose Street, the property of Kelly Kosky, as a demolition by neglect.
Mhm.
Because he's about to do it, and our minutes have to show that we have initiated that.
Okay, good.
And it is 912 Rose Street, and he is he's at a conference for a few days, but he's getting the game together to make that citation.
I also see Georgetown Museum on 7th Street.
Yes, we also talked about the Georgetown Museum on 7th Street. Do you want to include that?
Well, I mean, it's been like, it's just sandblasted till it's just aluminum siding, it's just silver
Yeah,
shiny and body.
Parts of it falling. I mean, do you want to include that in the minutes?
Did you put it on it?
Yes, but
There's still holes in the parapet.
No, I'm talking about the white one.
yeah,
Across the street.
they put a new
Oh,
roof,
did they?
but there's holes in the back of the parapet.
Yeah, there's holes in the parapet.
Pieces of things too.
Yeah, I mean, there's the all around the top of it, all the fascia, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now, you can never go in there, can you?
No, oh no, it's just full junk stuff.
But do you want to add that in our demolition by neglect? We did mention it.
Well, it's on this already. No, if Rick's not here to discuss if he's done anything, I just think we need to
But
keep
what
an
is
eye
on
on.
what?
It's on the items to track, demolition by neglect, house to the right of Lynette. And Georgetown Museum on 7th Street. So it's on our list of things
Yeah.
we're tracking. I'd also like to say that this building next door,
Not very one.
the vinyl, the sided building, it's
Yeah.
just in terrible shape. The side, the corner pieces are big cracks and chunks out of them and everything. It's not exactly demolition, but it's crappy looking. So,
It's not good repair.
no, it's not repaired.
And that's-
So I guess we need to contact who owns that now?
The guy who worked with the loop for all that time, Tom.
Yeah.
Hill, is it?
Yeah.
Tom Hill.
So I think
You
we
would
should
know.
contact him to.
Is he still with them?
I think in a general way, just as an investor, more hands off, I think they've moved mostly to Arizona.
Oh, he bought that building next door?
You know, he's had it for years.
Yeah, well, I knew, but I didn't know he still had it. Yeah, it needs a little love.
Yeah, let's go down every street and talk about what we need to do.
Yeah.
Come on.
How do you?
Right, what about the crazy ones? Has anybody ever mentioned them? Crazy stuff?
Yes,
I want 6.
I mean, it has to be, you have to be able to demonstrate that it's in danger of.
Bit of collapsing,
falling down.
keep right on, yeah, no, we can.
So we can notify that it needs to be.
But we don't go in and do anything.
It's not historic at all, so.
But Kosky's wife was up and they're moving furniture into the great house.
It has.
Because she said they're leaving Africa and they're planning to go to Fort Stuff.
Oh, it's not following down, but like if you look at all this corner pieces of marble siding and everything. Okay, we're ready to, just be dismissed?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, yes, adjourned.
Get you this.
Right.